So, murdered, right? An 8-year old murdered by parents, right? Autism. Being autistic, being a young child, having autism and murdered, right? By parents. How often does that occur, being murdered while autistic? By your parents, right? Mia Morrow, right? And Brian Morrow, accused of murdering their 8-year-old autistic son, the location being Michigan. The couple were arrested on multiple charges for connection with the death of their son. Also, like, subscribe, ID in the Discovery Channel. ID in the Discovery Channel. The links are provided below. Get that Discovery Go app as well as an ID Go app. You might want to get those two things, combine them, make them into one, and I'm a Discovery influencer. That's indeed a fact. So, also, the couple were charged with first degree murder and possession of methamphetamines, right? And psychedelic drug DMT. Autistic son murdered. No. Ooh. People that are involved with autism, right? How they try to improve things in lives of autistic children, they wouldn't like that sort of thing. Children at 8 years old being autistic murdered by their parents, right? Many of them will be highly upset, right? It was the grandmother who reported the grandson's death, right? The young boy's death on the couch stands questionable. It stands questionable because did the child die on the couch or was he placed on the couch after he died? That's where the question stands. Did someone place the young child on the couch after he died or did he die on the couch, right? The grandmother. The grandmother reported him being dead, right? The child was severely autistic, as I stated before, right? He was severely autistic before death. And he was underweight before death, weighing only 31 pounds. His mother, Mia, claims he refused to eat food and refused to drink liquids. Neglect and starvation of an autistic child, right? The story is just everywhere. Yes, other parents of children who are autistic, children who are autistic parents that have autistic kids, they more likely, once they hear this story, will be highly upset, heated, right? Neglect, not the mother claimed that he refused to eat food and refused to drink liquids, but remember the parents were in fact involved in his death. The neglect, I just said that. He refused, that's what the mother said, right? He refused to eat food and refused to drink liquids, but there's neglect in that. I said that 3 times. He refused, but then he's murdered, right? That's to say, he more likely didn't refuse to eat or refuse to drink. More likely, somebody was not feeding him, right? So, Child Protective Services investigated the child's home various times on various occasions, right? They didn't find anything wrong with the home. They didn't find anything wrong with the parents' living situation or anything, right? Child Protective Services, when they investigated, they didn't find anything wrong with the child's home, right? They didn't find anything wrong amongst the family or how the child was raised, right? Despite the child being autistic, his parents removed him from a school for autistic children. Despite him being autistic, usually autistic children usually have to or should be attending a school for autistic children, right? Because they get the best care at autism academies or autistic learning centers and all the rest, right? So, despite the child being autistic, his parents removed him from a school for autistic children, saying they didn't like that the school, how much the school would call CPS on the parents. That's why they removed the child away or took the child out of school, removed the child from the school because of CPS being called on the parents by the school. CPS being called constantly on the parents is why the child was removed from the school, right? So, daughter of Brian said she sensed her father and the mother of the young boy were using drugs on a regular basis, which led to neglect of the autistic child. Didn't I just mention that? The neglect. Well, even Brian's daughter, right? He Brian was involved in the child's murder, right? Being murdered, right? Well, even his daughter said that she sensed her father uh, and Mia were using drugs on a regular basis, which led to neglect. And even I sensed that there was neglect on the end of the young autistic child, right? Him refusing not to eat or drink. What child usually refuses? Well, sometimes young children who are autistic, sometimes they do refuse to eat or drink, right? But something's more wrong with the story, because to know that he was murdered is to say, okay, no, I don't think he refused to eat or drink. There's something wrong with that. And the daughter once again mentioned it. So the daughter of Brian also stated the young child was confined to a bedroom. Confined to a bedroom, right? Neglect. So Mia waited a day to call 911 to report her son's death. The mother of the young child waited a whole day to call 911 to report her son's death. She said she had her reasons, right? She also said she should have contacted sooner about her child being dead because of his breathing issues before death. She came out and said that why should have called sooner to report him being dead because of his breathing issues, right? So there was no known cause of the child's death. No known cause. So usually as time goes on, usually things are found out. Why young boy? The cause of death, as in how he died. What was the reason before his death? What was the reason for his death, and all the rest? Why did he die? What was the situation behind his death? That the person's family or loved ones had something to do with his death or dying, or the parents were responsible. Cause of death that usually comes out later. So we're on investigationdiscovery.com. The ID logo stands in the far left corner. ID. Dear viewers, let me know what you think and feel about the video. Let me know what you think the situation could have been with the young boy to know he was murdered, right? What all happened? Because some people don't know how to properly raise autistic kids, and maybe that was the issue as well, the parents, right? They could have given him up for adoption or something. Not everybody knows how to raise autistic kids. They could have, yes, give the child up for adoption or something, not abuse the child, and then know the parents were on drugs and all the rest. That made the situation worse. Adoption. Well, if I don't know how to raise my autistic son, I might in fact give him off to family members or someone else who can raise him, because he's autistic. Some parents don't have the patience to raise autistic kids, is all I'm trying to say, the adoption. So, dear viewers, once again, may you enjoy your day. I will, in fact, enjoy mine, and I'm gone for now. 1.